So the iPhone 12 is probably one of Apple's most leaked phones to date. There's a ton of information going around about Apple's latest iPhone that's coming out fairly soon. And it's actually a good thing, especially in these times. It provides us with just a little bit of distraction to not pay attention to everything that's kind of going on there and just kind of be immersed into what possible cool pieces of tech Apple's going to be releasing pretty soon. So in this video, what I'm going to do is do what I do best, is just break down what's coming out with the iPhone 12, what we can expect, what you guys can expect, what I'm looking forward to, just kind of get everything we currently know about the iPhone 12 into this video to give you a roundabout way of understanding what's to come and also provide some kind of distraction. So let's get started. So let's kick it off with design and looks. All the rumors are saying that the iPhone is going to look exactly the same like it did last year, probably a little bit boxier of a design than we saw in last year's iPhone, a little bit more of the squared off edges, but we're still getting that notch. Face ID is still going to be there. You're not getting the in-screen fingerprint scanner. I just don't think Apple had enough time to kind of work that out into the iPhone 12. You're probably looking at that more in the next iPhone, iPhone 13, or whatever they choose to call the next iPhone that's coming out. You're also going to be getting pretty much the same camera module that's in the back with maybe an additional camera or maybe an additional sensor, but it's going to look exactly the same because they recently just changed that camera module to that square stove-like design. So I think you're going to expect something to look just like that. The refresh of this iPhone is not going to be more in the design, it's going to be more in the specifications and what it has to offer to the user itself. So design-wise, you're going to be looking at an iPhone. If you saw last year's iPhone, probably not going to be shocked at what this year's iPhone looks like. Maybe they shrink the notch just a little bit more of a boxier design, and you're actually going to get some pretty cool colors. According to some of the rumors, it does look like users are going to be getting a navy blue to replace the midnight green version of the iPhone 12 and 12 Pro that's coming out. And I'm a big navy blue fan. I mean, I like the color blue. I never liked the midnight green version of the iPhone 12, so replacing that color with a navy blue looks really cool. There's some renders that you're probably seeing on screen now that looks awesome. If it looks anything like this, it's going to be a top seller. So we'll go right to camera because, again, arguably one of the most important parts of a mobile phone nowadays is the camera itself, and I think you're going to see some pretty big innovations from Apple in their camera system in these iPhones that are coming up, especially coming off the Lidar camera that was released with the recent iPad Pros. That is a big upgrade. It's a big jump in technology for them, and you can probably expect something a little bit revolutionary like that going into their next iPhones, because it only makes sense to carry that technology over to probably their top selling product, which is going to be the iPhone 12 and 12 Pro. And it's going to help kind of differentiate the 12 from the 12 Pros with that additional LiDAR type awesome camera that's coming. So with that, you can also cue the introduction of a potentially game-changing long-range 3D camera. The technology is going to use a combination of the time of flight camera with the LiDAR sensor to almost instantaneously map the environment that's around you up to 15 feet. And that actually bodes pretty well for any kind of AR experiences that you're going to be hoping to have with your iPhone. That LiDAR camera with that time of flight sensor is going to do an amazing job of just making sure that the augmented reality, any application that uses augmented reality, is going to look pretty cool using this camera. And you can bet that since the iPad Pro also has that LiDAR camera that's already out in the wild, you have developers probably working hard to perfect and create some cool applications to go along with this new camera set that's coming out. And you can also bet that Apple is in the works creating that killer AR app to go with this camera system that they're putting into the iPhone. It's going to be a mover for them, so they want to make sure that they have that application that's going to sell you on the reason why this camera was so important and these technologies were so necessary to put together in this particular iPhone. So moving off camera onto the actual display of the phone itself, you're actually going to see some pretty big changes on this iPhone display. Not the way you would think. You're probably going to get some bigger sizes. So you're probably looking at the iPhone 12 Pro to be a 5.4-inch display versus a 5.8-inch display. And you're looking at the iPhone 12 Pro Max to actually go up to a 6.7-inch display versus a 6.5-inch display on the 11 Pro. And you're also probably going to be looking at Apple replacing the panels on the phone itself with the next-gen Samsung OLED displays. These offer a refresh rate of at least 120 Hz, and they're they're better than what you see on the S20. So they're going all in on these OLED display panels to make sure that the iPhone itself features some of the best screen technology. And you know Samsung makes really good screens. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Apple can integrate into their iPhones using these Samsung displays to make it a little bit more crisp, a little bit more clean, and just consuming media on this thing is going to be a beast. It always looks pretty good, but this year I think it's going to look even better. And like I mentioned, you're going to have one biometric entry into the iPhone still. You're going to have your PIN that you can still create, but the only biometrics that I'm seeing that's going to be in the new iPhone 12 is going to be still Face ID. I know a lot of people were hoping that Touch ID would make an appearance underneath the screen for that fingerprint scanner. I just don't think Apple had the time to make it into this particular iPhone. They may surprise us, you never know. It may be that one more thing that they show on stage, but I really do think that this year they just want to focus on updating a couple of things with the iPhone itself and leave that next gen fingerprint scanner for the next iPhone that's coming out. The cool thing though is the Apple Watch is actually slated to be getting Touch ID. So the next iteration of the Apple Watch is going to have a version of Touch ID. We actually recently just did a video on this. I'm going to make sure to link that in the description and a card up above. Why this is pretty cool is that if Apple wants to, they can actually in a roundabout way use that technology to integrate Touch ID back onto your phone. How? Because the Apple Watch is connected to your iPhone. So if you're prompted for a verification via Touch ID or to get into your phone, as long as the two devices are connected, I don't see a reason why that verification prompt can't come from your Apple Watch itself, giving you a roundabout way of getting Touch ID onto your iPhone 12 without including that in-screen fingerprint scanner. And then you kind of have the best of both worlds. You have your Touch ID, you have your Face ID. Apple has another reason to sell you an Apple Watch, and you have another reason to buy an Apple Watch and be even more entrenched in that Apple ecosystem. Performance-wise, you're looking at, of course, the A14 chip. Analysts are even suggesting that the clock speed on the chip is going to be about 3 gigahertz and an additional 6 gigs of RAM. But considering that Apple never really releases this information anyway, you're probably going to have to wait for the Geekbench scores in order to fully confirm that this is the case. And there's still no info yet on the actual battery life of the iPhone 12, but you can expect that the battery life is going to get marginally better because it usually does. I mean, a new smartphone comes out, battery gets a little bit bigger, or the system gets a little bit more optimized and you get a little bit more battery power. It's by attrition, it always happens. You're probably going to get pretty good battery anyway. Apple does a good job of optimizing their systems, but with the iPhone 12, 12 Pro, 12 Pro Max, you're probably looking at maybe a 5 to 10% jump on battery life versus what you had with the 11 and 11 Pro. And could this be the year that Apple finally replaces that Lightning port with a USB Type-C connector in their iPhones? They definitely should. USB Type-C is the thing. They need to abandon that Lightning port and make it just a USB Type-C. I mean, they already have it on the iPad. They already have it on their iPad Pros. They just need to get it into the iPhone. I think this is going to be the year that you're going to see the USB Type-C on the iPhones themselves. You're going to probably see 5G technology across the board because 5G is now a thing. That's just what everybody's going for. It's what everybody's shooting to get the hang of, and all phones that are coming out from now on should or need to be 5G compatible just to kind of future-proof them as we go into the 5G renaissance that's coming up. So you're probably going to see across the board, even in their regular versions or their Pro versions, you're going to see the 5G technology somewhere in there. Trust me, you're going to see 5G somewhere in their technology there. And with that 5G technology, you're going to see support for the mmWave, which is the extremely high frequency for 5G, and the sub 6 gigahertz band as well. So you're going to get some cool 5G technology in this new iPhone. Is there going to be a network to take advantage of it? That remains to be seen. I don't think there's any really great 5G networks available yet, but they're coming. So it's nice to have this phone ready for them when they arrive. So overall, that's all the information that we currently know about the iPhone 12. It's shaping up to be a pretty awesome iPhone if you're an iPhone user. I know you guys get excited when Apple releases a new phone. Is there everything or anything here that will sway an Android user over into the dark side? Probably not, but there's some really great components here that's making up for a pretty great phone that I can't wait to see because I love technology and I always like to see advancement in technology, and this phone looks like it's shaping up to be pretty good, so we'll see how it works out. Anyway guys, all that really matters is what you think of the next iPhone that's coming out. With all this information I just shared in this video, share your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think of the new iPhone. Are you excited about it? Is there a feature that you wish Apple would include that's not on this list? Share that in the comment section down below as well. While you're down there, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and that subscribe button and that bell for notification so you don't miss when I release some cool, helpful content like this one. Until then, guys, I'm going to link a video here about the Touch ID coming to the Apple Watch, and this is something YouTube believes you'd enjoy watching. Thanks again for checking out the video. Stay safe out there, and until next time, peace.